Officials are lying when they claim that they were unaware of the outbreak in the soldiers' home. Bennett Walsh says he provided daily updates to state officials after the first veteran at a facility tested positive last month. 5 more deaths of residents from the home were reported yesterday, bringing the number of virus-related deaths at that facility to 28. Close to 70 residents and other 68 staff members have been tested positive for coronavirus at the Soldiers' Home in Holyoke.
Providence Catholic Bishop Thomas Tobin is going to celebrate Easter Mass on Sunday on television. The Mass from the Cathedral of Saints Peter and Paul in Providence will be in empty church, as the coronavirus will prevent worshipers from attending in person, of course. Channel 10 TV and Channel 12 TV are both airing the service live.
Staff members at the Soldiers' Home in Holyoke, Massachusetts, who have tested positive for coronavirus reportedly are being asked to continue working. The Boston Globe newspaper reports that those without symptoms have been told to come to work because of severe staffing shortages. Close to 70 staff members at the home have tested positive for coronavirus. The outbreak has killed at least 20 veterans at the home and has infected dozens of others. And now, as a public service, the Valley Breeze and valleybreeze.com present recent death notices from the local area. The Estepardo Memorial Chapel Funeral Home in Woonsocket announces the passing of John L. Corkins, 85 years old, who passed away peacefully Saturday, April 4th at Landmark Medical Center with his daughter by his side. He was the husband of the late Marlene Corkins. John worked as an orderly at the
Good morning and welcome to Coffee and, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email at joe@onesocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel on ON 1240, WOON One Socket Radio.
Good morning to you. It is Coffee and Time on ON AM and FM. It's Friday morning. It's Good Friday. It's April 10th in the year 2020. I'm Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us this morning. And the phone is Paul Webb from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Hi, Paul.
Good morning, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing all right. And Tom is here from the Valley Breeze. Good morning to you, Tom.
Good morning, Joe.
Hello there. All right. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240. But let's get a first message.
Hold on just a second here, Joe.
Yes?
I want you to check your controls because obviously you're gating out and you're chopping up on us. That doesn't normally happen, but find out what's wrong. I think you're getting a feedback from the station of your own voice, but I'm not sending it.
All right.
So look for that, and while Paul gives his message, you can maybe correct that. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really interesting trying to listen to half of what you're saying.
All right. You're up, Paul.
I am up. So good morning, everyone. I think over the past few weeks, we've all been learning how to use video conferencing, programs like Zoom, Google Duo, and what have you, and of course the Chamber is no exception in that. We are offering several webinars, and it's pretty easy. If you don't have a Zoom account, you just have to click on the link and download Zoom, and you'll be able to participate in these webinars. So we have a bunch of them coming up. I'm just going to kind of run down the menu, and you can these are all on the Chamber's website at nrichamber.com. Today we have today is 410. I don't even know what day it is anymore. So today we have a series. It's being offered several times. Today's one of the days. It's also going to be offered, I think, on the 17th and 24th of April, and it's called Helping Small Businesses Navigate COVID-19. Excuse me. And on 416, we have Staying Productive While Working Remotely. We also have on 416 later in the day, Reduce Cost and Headaches from Managing Unemployment Tips with UTCA. On the 17th, we have that, as I mentioned, that virtual series again, Helping Small Business Navigate COVID-19. on 421, and this is probably a good one for folks who don't have a lot of experience with virtual meetings, and it's called Best Practices with Virtual Meetings. On 424, we have that series again, as I mentioned, helping small businesses navigate COVID-19. On 428, we have productivity tips during the pandemic. And so these are some of the series that we've scheduled. I'm also going to be on the phone, and we're going to be scheduling more of those. So it's kind of a new way of life for everyone. And also, I want to say on the Chamber's website, we do have a resource page. We are getting a lot of questions about the programs and services that are available to small businesses. So visit nrachamber.com, or you can call us at 334-1000. The Chamber staff is still available to answer any questions you have.
All right, Paul. Thank you. All right, so something not good happened just seconds before we went on the air. You want to know what it is?
You ran out of toilet paper?
No. The chair I sit in at my home, a wheel broke one of the chair. Like, hey, how did that happen? So I spun it around.
It up again, dude.
Now the broken part. Oh, well. Let's see now. I don't know what I've done to make it there.
Hey, Joe, we're not going to be able to continue unless you find out what's different about your setup there, because your first and your last syllables are disappearing into the ether. I'm just going to coach you in front of everybody. What can I say? We're all family here anyway, right? Give it a little more volume on your microphone or something like that. Something is not quite right.
All right, I've turned up the microphone there.
A little better. It's a little better.
All right,
I can stay nice and close there so we can hear. Because let's face it, nobody wants to miss a syllable of what Joe Callahan says.
Oh, I'm sure. All right, is that any better there, Dave?
It's somewhat better, yeah.
All right, well, I can turn it up a little more here. Let's try that right there.
Well, there's automatic circuits that are going to bring it back down, but we want to try to make sure that we,
Anyway,
let's not get into all the technical stuff, but I understand what's going wrong, but I don't know what changed from yesterday.
I don't know. There's only a couple of things I fiddle with, so.
Yeah.
You sound better now, Joe.
All right. Well, thanks, Paul. All right. Well, you guys talk, and I'll ask questions, and you guys talk, okay? Tom.
Talk among yourselves.
Tom, how did Yellowback Day go?
It went great. A lot of the people, well, everyone who said they were going to come showed up, and it was only slightly less successful than last year, and last year was our very best year ever. So a lot of people did show up. They recognized that they weren't really a danger to anybody. Everyone was, when they were teams, they were typically from the same family. And when they were individuals, of course, there was no risk to anybody. They just quietly went about their work and took their stretch of road. What I do is I keep everybody separate. I put them on specific areas so that they're not all winding up at the same place. And we had more than 100 people working, spread out all across town, quietly going about their business. And then on Monday this week, Frank Stoic and the guys from Cumberland Highway were out picking up all the yellow bags. So there's maybe a few rogues left, but not many. So it's done, and everybody did a great job. And it's always, I have to say, my personal favorite time of year, because for this, before people start littering again, for a couple of weeks before the grass grows, if you're driving around Cumberland, you will notice how clean it is along the sides of major roads, where 2 weeks ago it was really pretty messy. And so it's a dramatic difference for many, many miles of roads, and it went very well. I mean, Saturday, we told people you had all weekend, because Saturday was, a bit dreary and chilly. So some people wrote to me and said, look, I'm just going to do it Sunday instead, which was fine with us. Sunday was a much nicer day. And then they went out and took care of it. And the work got done. So it was very successful. Thank you for asking. I'm glad it got done. Town looks great. Thank you.
All right. Did people notice, Tom, that there were a lot more those sterile gloves or the masks by the side of the road?
I didn't hear much about the gloves. I heard from one person who was like, what's with the gloves? I have to admit, I was delivering the papers to Stop and Shop yesterday, and I'm seeing them all over the parking lot. So people are being pigs again. You can't be polite. I mean, for God's sakes, take your gloves off, stick them in your pocket, and throw them away when you get home. But yeah, they're starting to. I'm guessing. I'm curious as to what you're hearing, because I'm starting to notice them more and more. Around, and so yes, we will have a whole new problem going forward, I guess. But what are you seeing, Joe? What are you hearing about?
I don't see them by the side of the road, but your people were out picking up stuff by the side of the road, so I just want to know if people like tossing them out of the cars. But I see gloves, not too many masks, but gloves in parking lots, like you said, like Stop and Shop and like a Target and things like that. And I don't know why, if you're going to take the gloves off, well, why not just throw them on the bottom of your car? Where your feet go.
Yep.
And then when you get home, I don't know, go grab a napkin or a paper towel and pick up the gloves that way and throw them out.
Right.
I don't understand the throwing them on the ground at the place you just shopped.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like you just scratch your head and you say, what in the world are people thinking?
Yeah.
Because first of all, if you pull them off, usually they become inside out, right? Okay, so if they become inside out, there's no germs on the outside. It's just your germs now. Maybe there's no germs, but whatever you had on your hand, that's what you're touching. So it's not like it's full of filth that you got to be careful about. Just pull them off. They're inside out. It's your skin cells there, and as you say, just put them on the car seat or whatever, and when you get home, dispose of them properly. I mean, what the heck? As long as you pull it off and it goes inside out, which they almost always do, then you are free to dispose of them properly. It's not like there's germs everywhere. You've just turned the germs, you've just put any germs on the inside of the gloves. This is all nonsense anyway, and that's something, I'll get into later in the hour, I'm sure. This whole thing is getting to be ridiculous, and we need the truth of the matter is we'd all be better off if everyone got sick and got herd immunity, and a couple of people are going to die, and that's the way it goes. This whole destruction of the U.S. economy is just baffling to me. Other than, I swear, there are powers out there that I don't know and don't understand that want to destroy the United States. And I'm not talking about China. It could be internal. I don't know, because you couldn't do a much worse job than this. It's just ridiculous. I mean, they started out well-meaning, but now it's just ridiculous. And it gets extended every week, another week, another week. Oh, the nanny state. Oh, another week. It's like we're going crazy. Check in on any nursing home or any assisted living facility. People are going out of their minds. This is not helpful. So, it's Easter this weekend. I have a mother-in-law in an assisted living facility. She would have liked a plate of food, a home-cooked ham and plate of food. Can't have it. Can't have it. Might bring a germ in. I mean, we are out of our minds. We're losing it.
Paul, are you seeing anybody are you seeing more gloves and masks on the ground when you travel about?
Well, actually, I haven't traveled about. I have, the past 3 weeks, I've actually been in the car twice. And my experience has just been limited to walks in the neighborhood. And I personally
has Chris got you tied in the basement or what? I mean, what do you got, a rope on you and Chris has you tied up? What's with that?
No, we're just we are being very cautious. As you know, we have a little baby.
Oh, that's true. Yes, I'm sorry. There's a baby in your house, and so you need to be a bit more cautious. I get that.
We're really taking precautions, and I've been out. I went out once this week to get groceries, and I broke a personal record for the most money I've ever spent because I don't want to have to go out again. but I will tell you that my experience, I personally haven't seen any, and now that I'm looking for it, it's like when you buy a car, you think you're the only person with that model on the road. Once you buy it, you see 100 of them. But I'll have to be more conscientious and take a look. We'll report back next week.
All right. It is time to take our first break here on the Coffee AM program. So, Paul, time for a second message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
Well, thank you. And again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but, during everything that's going on, there have been a lot of questions. There's been some frustration with some of the programs that are available for businesses. A week or two ago, we were getting a lot of calls. What should I do? Which program should I be attracted to? But now we're getting calls about, hey, I applied and I haven't heard anything. So, we're trying to keep on top of things the best we can. And this is, a time when businesses really need an organization like the Chamber of Commerce because we can't get answers for you. We do have a resource page on the website with all the programs that are available. Excuse me. We also have another page, and we want to support our local businesses the best we can, the ones that are open. We have a resource page about the restaurants who are doing takeout. And we also have another page that it talks about chamber members in the news. There are a lot of chamber members out there doing good during this pandemic, whether it be making sanitizer, masks, or what have you. So visit our website, nrichamber.com. If you are not a member of the chamber, we would welcome your call. We'd be happy to help you through this process. And you can call at 334-1000. Sometimes there is someone in the office, and other times there is not. But we're monitoring all our calls, and we'll get right back to you.
All right, Paul, thanks. The Coffee AM program will continue, and you can call in your comments and questions at 766-1240.
At this time, Gators Pub on Victory Highway in North Smithfield is closed until further notice. But keep this in mind, Lumberjack's Pizza and Wieners is still open and ready to deliver to you. Lumberjacks makes subs, and the wings are to die for. So while Gators Pub is closed, Lumberjacks Pizza and Wieners is open and ready to deliver. Lumberjacks Pizza and Wieners on Victory Highway, North Smithfield.
I'm here with Kara Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency. What types of insurance do you provide?
If you come see me, Kara, I will help you review and protect the most important assets in your life. We offer protection for personal lines and business lines of insurance in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. My mother, Celeste, will help you plan for retirement and assist you with protecting your family by providing life insurance.
You're in good hands with Allstate and Kara and Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency, 125 Eddie Dowling Highway, across from Dowling Village in North Smithfield, 765-5000.
Our business is truly a referral business, and we have built it based on our premier service level and commitment to what we do. If you are looking for personalized service with people who care, that would be us.
These days, we all probably know of a local business that is struggling to adapt to the current realities. Here's a small way that you can help.
Announcing the Gift Card Challenge.
If you're able, think of your favorite local business and then buy a gift card today.
Buy it online or pledge to buy one as soon as you can.
Every little bit will help.
Restaurants have takeout or delivery. Many businesses have online shopping options.
Participate in the Gift Card Challenge today.
Buy a gift card.
Any amount and show your support for our local businesses in this time of need.
Keep it for yourself to use at a later date or pass it along to someone you know that's on the front lines doing what they can to keep us all safe.
Make the pledge and buy a gift card today.
Participate in the Gift Card Challenge.
Post and tag the business you selected on social media and challenge your friends and neighbors to do the same.
Working together, one card at a time, we can all make a difference.
This important message about supporting our local businesses is sponsored by Countertops by Superior, 840 Cumberland Hill Road, Woonsocket. Visit them online at countertopsbysuperior.com.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON Radio.
It's Coffee In on ON AM and FM. This is Joe Callahan here with Tom Ward, and Paul Willett from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce is on the phone with us. Still with us, Paul?
I am.
Excellent. All right. Let's see.
I want to know what happened to your chair now that we have all the technical issues resolved, Joe. Are you on the level?
Well, I am. I spun it around, so now the broken spoke basically is in the front, not in the back. I don't know. It must have leaned back in the chair too far, and it just snapped. The wheel just snapped off the chair.
My goodness.
You know, the old days we used to have books hanging around the house that you could stick under there, but.
What's a book?
Yeah, or the phone directory. Got to find a phone directory.
Can't put a tablet under there. It's not thick enough anyway. Joe, do you need us to send a chair up there too? I mean, we sent a microphone, mic stands, mixers, computer, the whole business like that. Do you need us to send a chair too?
No, I think I can. I'll do what Tom did. I got books laying around somewhere to try to level this thing off. So.
All right. Just want to make sure you're taken care of, Joe. You're important to us.
But it was a surprise. What's that, Paul?
If we have a big crash, I'm sorry. If we hear a big crash, we'll call the rescue.
Yeah. We'll know. 911.
Please do. So, all right. Nice gesture yesterday. A great gesture, actually, by the Woonsocket Police, who went over and saluted everyone over at Landmark Medical Center. That was very nice to see.
Not just police, but fire, Joe.
Oh, the fire were there as well? Oh, great.
Yeah, and the mayor was there. Remember she was talking to us, and then she disappeared?
Yes, she had to drive somewhere, and that's where she was going. So that's great. They had all the lights flashing, and a nice salute to all the workers over at Landmark Medical Center. So that was very nice. I wonder, Dave, do you know who sponsored this? Not sponsored it, but whose idea this was, and says we should do something?
Well, it came from the Public Safety Division, but I don't know which person.
Okay.
I know they coordinated it with Mike Souza, who we know very well, who's the chief executive officer. And the staff really thought it felt good. It was very nice to get a little thank you. I mean, it's not like they do it for the thank you, but when somebody says that after they've extended themselves, it feels good.
Sure does. Okay. I do have a question for Paul Willett. Paul, the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce normally sponsors the Pawtucket Red Sox Welcome Back Luncheon. That was canceled this past year. Yesterday was supposed to be opening day. Probably would have been rained out. So today would have turned into opening day. But does the Chamber plan on doing any kind of luncheon later on when an opening day is announced?
Yeah, well, it probably won't be a luncheon, but we're talking with them about some sort of event. That was supposed to have taken place on Wednesday. But just the unknown. And now, with the delay, the construction is at a standstill up in Worcester. So we don't know what the situation is going to be. If they do come back this year, could be some type of event. But it's possible, depending on how long this goes on, the delay, that they may play, at least part of the season again next year. There's so much up in the air right now. So the quick answer is we don't know.
Okay, thank you. In yesterday's call, Brendan McGare wrote a nice article about what he normally does at this time of year, dealing with the opening day of Pawtucket Red Sox season. And he actually mentioned the Chamber of Commerce in his article, Paul, and says one of the traditions was the luncheon, and he always looked forward to going to the luncheon because John Gregory would tell the same Chico Walker story every year.
Yeah, that's a famous. It's funny and it's a great story. I'm sure if John were here, it'd be willing to tell it again. But it's too bad that we had to cancel it because there's been a lot of great speakers who come out. I mean, my personal favorite was Bill Lee when he came out, Spaceman. And that was a lot of fun. But, it's something that I think we could use some entertainment right now. Baseball would be a good diversion to everything that's going on. But unfortunately, we are where we are.
Right. All right. In terms of the coronavirus, I want to ask Tom his opinion on this. I'm sure he'll give me one. Tom, we it's a clash, it seems to me, between the federal government and the state government in Rhode Island. And you hear from the federal government, well, we're going to peak with the coronavirus nationwide. They said this week, maybe next week. And then you hear from the governor of Rhode Island, well, the peak's going to happen mid-April to mid-May. So who do you believe? Who's
the federal government?
You go with the Fed first?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And this is not politics at all. It's first of all, I think Governor Raimondo up to this point has been very careful, and people have been very careful. They're separated. I think by and large, most people are doing the right thing. And the numbers keep going up, but a lot of the numbers are people from nursing homes who are very compromised anyway. There's one nursing home, Golden Crest, in North Providence. There's a lot of infection there, so they're being very careful there. But nationally, New York City and others, the numbers are really beginning to tamp down now. And so I do believe things are not getting worse. I believe, my guess is that things are plateauing here in Rhode Island and are going to begin to calm down. Yet, frankly, I'm angry that every couple of days Gina Raimondo extends it by another week. I had a column ready to go in this week's paper, but it got preempted, and we'll talk about that later, which is fine. I'm not the owner anymore. That's fine. But my column essentially said, we're not going to put up with this forever. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to wonder. I'm really starting to wonder what the goal is. And this whole goal about keeping us safe. Here's what I would love to do if I were Donald Trump. I would probably say outside of area, and I would put a scientific number on this, but areas like New York City are certainly going to need extra help. Apparently the greater Detroit area, New Orleans, places where they've had a bit more of an explosion, might need some extra help. But the only reason Gina Raimondo continues to extend this is because she believes in her mind that she's going to get bailed out by the federal government, that the federal government's just going to print whatever money's necessary for our sorry budget here in Rhode Island and bail her out. Mm-hmm. And if I were the federal government, I'd be saying, and if I were the president, I'd be saying, I'm not signing any more money beyond, perhaps May 15th. So that anything that goes beyond May 15th, if you keep your state shut down, you're on your own. And I believe that would force Governor Raimondo to say, oh, my God, I can't keep playing in the sandbox. I actually have to let people go back to work. I can't just and that's the fight. Because right now, and believe me, I think the governor has been, the good thing, I mean, you compare the Governor Raimondo and President Trump, and it's like night and day. Mm-hmm. She's very deliberate. She's very good at this. I have to say, at managing a crisis. She's calm. She's deliberate. She's telling you what's going on. And then you got Trump all over the dang place. And it's really bad. And so she's better at this. But you know what? At a certain point, we're going to have to reopen the state. And I swear she doesn't see it. She's just like, oh no. If we and I said, I'll say it. I said it in my column. I'll say it in my column next week. The quote I hate the most out of every politician's mouth is this one. If we save one life, it's worth it. I'm here to tell you, no, that's not true. You are killing the United States of America. And no, we can't continue down this road indefinitely. This morning... I'm sorry, go ahead, Joe.
It's not sustainable.
It's absolutely not sustainable. And yet people would have you believe that this can just go on. And I was heartbroken to hear, but completely not surprised, to hear another radio show where people were calling in, speaking to the Department of Labor director and asking essentially about unemployment. And every single question was, okay, here's my status. Where's my extra $600? And one person was like, well, $600, is that a one-time or is that weekly? Oh, no, that's weekly for 13 weeks. You thought this person had just hit the lottery. She's like, well, this is a huge raise for me. It's like, yeah, that's right. And the federal government's throwing around money like drunken sailors, but that's an understatement. And I understand where but now, another business owner, and Paul, you're going to start hearing this from business owners, or if you haven't already. One business owner said, my people are generally laid off for winter because it's not our season, and then we bring them all back, and it's time to bring them all back. And I'm calling them all, and they're all like, I'm staying unemployed because I just got an extension plus $600 a week, so I'm not coming back. And they're essentially threatening, and of course this is all fraud, but nobody cares anymore because everyone knows no one ever gets punished. And so they're just like, nope, for the next 13 weeks, find somebody else, do it yourself. Business owners can't even, and so on the one hand, the federal government was good helping. First of all, it was good that in some way they helped the victims of this layoff, hospitality, restaurants, waitresses. I'm glad that those people were taken care of. That's important. And I'm also glad that small businesses were helped. But what about the small business who now has employees not looking at the boss saying, lay me off, I want the raise.
I've already heard that, Tom.
I'm sorry?
I've already heard that from a business owner who said, I don't know if I'm going to be open because they're
killing the business. All the employees want the next 13 weeks with the $600.
Please lay me off. I'm going to make more money if you lay me off.
Yes.
So please do it.
Yep. And I'm sorry, Paul, I couldn't hear you.
No, I said it's a disincentive to go back to work.
Of course it is. And so government as usual says, we will be the hero. You will keep voting for us because we love you. And on the back side of the envelope, they're screwing everything up. And they're doing it in I think the most fantastical and largest way I've ever seen it in my life. And I'm just stunned. And the governor goes on, and like I said, let's go back to the human side now. Let's forget about the money for a minute. What I was saying earlier, I have an aunt in a nursing home. No one's been able to visit her for a month. Now, thankfully, her mind is a bit fragile. She may not know that we're not visiting. We're trying to FaceTime and do other things. The staff's wonderful. By the way, this is not a knock on the nursing home. The staff is terrific. But, they start to wonder, where is everybody? Because, again, we, those of us with sound mind, think that they understand this. And, well, they'll understand it might be a month and we just have to get through this. No, they don't understand. Their minds are fragile in many cases, and they don't know what's happening. And then I have another loved one in an assisted living where this is locked down tighter than the ACI. They were hoping perhaps for an Easter meal or something like that, little visits, whatever, or of course, under normal times, to be taken out of there for the day. Not that the assisted living is doing anything wrong. They're not. But they are in lockdown, just like a prison.
Yeah.
And that confined to the rooms, I mean, it's unbelievable. And that's the human and emotional and mental side of this. And nobody cares. Or they'll talk a good game, but they don't care. They're like, oh, no, we have to save them at all costs, which is nonsense, by the way. I mean, certainly you have to be more careful with older folks. But at what point do you destroy them? Or as President Trump said, and other people have said before that, when is the cure worse than the disease? And that's where we are now, I think. The cure is worse than the disease. And I have real concerns about this stuff going forward. This has got to stop. We have got to take our foot off the throat of small business. We've got to let people get back to work. I mean, if you open a restaurant, isn't there some way where, okay, people aren't going to go to a restaurant and wear a mask? Duh. That would be tough. That would get messy. But is there a way that they can be every other table, or certain hours, or some kind of limited things where the restaurant owner says, hey, it's not great, but at least I can stay open, and have, some employees working? Although, like I said, now, good luck getting them back. They're like, are you kidding me? I'm here sitting in the sun on my chaise lounge. I'm on Easy Street sipping Mai Tais. I don't want to go back. So that's what they're creating. That's what they've made. Mm-hmm. And this is a screw up of the highest order. And I believe the day will come where we recognize how massive an overreaction this was. And because even if the bug gets out, and for all we know the bug is out, the bug gets out and people get infected, well, half of us are not even going to know we have anything, except that we'll grow antibodies in our blood for next time. Then there'll be another 30% who are going to have a cold. Then there'll be another 10% will be impacted, and then there'll be 2% who are going to die. And
like the flu.
Yeah, well, it's worse than the flu. It's more contagious, but that doesn't mean it's killing a whole, and it is killing some more people. But my guess is, at what point are you going to lock down the economy forever so that we can beat back a bug? I mean, we're going to die first. We're going to kill this country first. Yeah. And by the way, and so, then you get to the next step where you say, well, if the country goes not bankrupt, but semi-bankrupt, then someday, soon, we're talking about saving lives, saving lives, saving lives. Well, someday, wasn't it miraculous that in the last month, the President of the United States, whether it would have been Obama or Clinton, this is not politics, but isn't it miraculous that they can say, hey, build some ventilators now, and that the parts are there, and they can do all these things, and isn't it wonderful to live in a country? Well, think about 2 or 3 years from now, if we're on our way to bankruptcy because of this, and a president says, well, we need ventilators, we need this, we need that for the next crisis, whatever the crisis is, and they're like, we don't have money for that. We don't have any more money for that. We can't do that. And then 200,000, 500,000, 1 million people die because we don't have money to fight the next pandemic. I mean, we have to be careful. We can't just say we're going to throw away money hand over fist because there's an election coming up. Some people are starting to say, well, they're just sowing maximum chaos to make Trump's economy go down. You know what? I'm not sure I believe that, but the longer this goes on, I'm going to start to wonder what if there's some truth to that, because it just seems strange, and it just goes on, and they don't have any good answers other than, more gloves, more masks, more separation. This cannot go on indefinitely. There's going to be a rebellion.
All right, we have to take a break.
It's ironic that you mentioned the restaurant, because we have one of our members who has been reaching out, I don't want to say daily, but at least a couple times a week. He is copying the governor, lieutenant governor, the local delegation, and congressional delegation, I should say, and others that, hey, look, you've got supermarkets open, you've got hardware stores open. They do have a plan in place for social distancing. Why can't I open my restaurant and separate tables?
Right.
Again, the takeout model is not sustainable. They're just trying to stay afloat and offering that service. But he has been contacting the list that he's been sending it out to, including the chamber, almost weekly.
And where are the state reps and state senators? I mean, I understand the governor's in charge, but the state reps and state senators must be hearing from their constituents, people like the gentleman you're talking about. Should I say, Dave, what you're doing? Go ahead, Dave, pipe in.
Oh. Joe's trying to get a break on for 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So maybe
we can go to a break first.
But
That's fine.
You think they must be hearing? No.
If they're not hearing, then maybe there is going to be no rebellion, because maybe we are. I hate to be so unkind, but maybe we are such sheeple now that we have been so browbeaten that the government is in charge that America's dead anyway internally. So that could be.
Keep in mind, we have a part-time General Assembly, and some of the members are business owners themselves. So I'm sure some of them are feeling the pain.
Well, they have the ear of the governor, for God's sakes. They're a state rep. I mean, I would think so. So anyway.
All right, break time now on Coffee In, and it's time for the forecast, which is being sponsored by CVS. And today we have sunny skies this morning. We will have increasing clouds this afternoon, slight chance of a shower later this afternoon with a high temperature today near 49. Tonight, mostly cloudy to start, gradually becoming mostly clear, low around 35. Saturday, mostly sunny, high near 51. Saturday night, mostly clear, low around 30. Easter Sunday, mostly sunny, high near 59. Monday, we are looking at cloudy skies with a chance of showers, possible thunderstorms in the afternoon, and a high near 45. And currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with sunny skies, we have 40 degrees. Get free 1 to 2 day delivery of prescriptions and store essentials from CVS. Visit them online or call your local CVS to learn more. Restrictions apply. More Coffee Ends coming up. Stay tuned.
People ask what PACE is. Well, PACE is a different kind of health plan. There's really nothing like it. Because PACE was created to give older people with health challenges the care and support they need to keep living at home. If you have a parent who wants to remain independent and live at home, but needs help to do so, call 401-654-4176 or visit pace-ri.org and see what a difference PACE can make in both of your lives.
Because of the coronavirus, in-store shopping has been suspended at Wright's Dairy Farm until further notice. However, milk, cream, eggs, bread, cakes, and more than 70 of your favorite bakery items are still available every day at Wright's Dairy Farm through their no-contact curbside pickup. There are now 2 ways to order your items at Wright's Dairy Farm. Have your credit card ready and call them at 401-767-3014, extension 4, 401-767-3014, extension 4, or go online to wrightsdairyfarm.com. You choose the day and time that you want to pick up your order. When you arrive to Wright's Dairy Farm, follow the signage and instructions given. Stay in your vehicle, and your order will be brought out to you. Wright's Dairy Farm is open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. They'll be closed Easter Sunday. Wright's Dairy Farm thanks you for your support and patience during this time.
It's Coffee In on ON Radio. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Paul Willett and Tom Ward. And Tom, time for first message from the Valley Breeze newspaper.
Do you want me to read this message before you do that?
Sure.
Or is it going to be more difficult to deliver a message for the Valley Breeze after I read the message from the audience?
In wonderment. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. To Tom Ward. Caller says, well said. Caller would vote for you for president anytime.
And here's the good news. Here's the good news. You can. There's a write-in spot. You go right ahead, and I'll look. I'll when they deliver the Rhode Island results and predict that Joe Biden wins Rhode Island. That prediction will come out around mid-November. I mean mid October.
Hey, Tom, do you still have your I Miss Reagan sticker on your car?
Yes, I do. It's on the convertible, which will be coming out this week, coming out of hibernation.
Fantastic.
Looking forward to that. Looking forward to pump some cheap gas into it and take a ride. And if
$1.89 I got for the XB yesterday over the border in Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's getting.
I hate to go to we were in Massachusetts on business anyway.
Well,
and then we came right back, and nobody noticed.
I know you think that I come to ON every Friday morning because I'm crazy about doing this, and I love you very much, Dave. That's only part of it. Part of it is now that Gulf station across from Anchor Subaru that's $1.79.
Yeah.
And so now, of course, I don't use nearly as much gas as I used to. And so now, once a week, like clockwork, I'm stopping on the way to ON to fill up the tank at that station for $1.79. It's like, well, take advantage of it while I can, I suppose.
Oh, yeah?
But anyway. But, yeah, no, I don't. I'm retiring in another month, and I don't really want to be president. But thank you for thinking of me. But I like I said, nobody ever thinks these things through. The whole progressive stuff that came in the state of Rhode Island in the last 2 years or 3 years, some of that's starting to come home to bite us now with sick time and family leave. All the business owners are hearing it all now. Oh, well, but I'm living with a grandparent, so Family Leave Act, and now I can collect, and everybody's going to be I hate to say a ward of the state. I hate to use that word, but everybody's just going to deadbeat off the state for as long as possible. That's where we're going, and it's just a dang shame. I'm supposed to be giving a message now? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You have a couple of editions of the Valley Breeze.
Let's get on with that.
Editions in front of you.
I'm going to go off target because I'm going to ask a favor, and this has been a long time, not a long time coming. As all of the listeners know, I sold the paper 11 months ago to a couple of really good guys. Not a big corporation, just good people. They didn't see this COVID coming. And it's hurting. It's a real hurt to the newspaper. And one of the things we had talked about a long time ago, before I even sold them the paper, was they were asking, well, what do you see for the future and stuff? And I said, personally, whether it's a paywall for the website, a more robust website with a paywall or whatever we're going to do, I said, I think ultimately you're going to have to find a way to get some money from readers. And what I meant by that was either donations, membership models, paywall, things like that. Because I said, advertising is tougher and getting more challenging as time went on, mostly with competitors like Facebook and Google. And I said, so I think you're going to need to do that. Well, essentially what's happened is COVID has sped that up. And so while nobody's at death's door, there was a column. My column was out, and Ethan Shorey and Jamie Quinn, who's been my deputy publisher forever for the last 24 years. Jamie's a much younger man than me, so he's staying behind. He's going to keep working at the Breeze. We put an appeal in this week to say, maybe you want to help out. If you've enjoyed the Valley Breeze for the last 24 years, free of charge, every week, week in and week out, it was given to you without asking a penny of you. Perhaps you'd like to make a small donation at this time. Again, it is not to indicate some desperation. It isn't. It is merely just speeding up something that we plan to do, and Tom Ward planned to do. This is not the new guys doing this. I had intended to do exactly the same thing in my interim, in my time. This would be happening if I still owned the paper. So we just want you to think about the fact that for well over 1,000 weeks, we've handed to you absolutely free this newspaper, and every week, for the last 15 years anyway, at least 20 people have gone to work and gotten paid and gotten benefits and gotten health care support, all these things, and we've been able to do it free thanks to the wonderful advertisers who've supported us along the way. But now it's your turn, and we're asking for help. And that help might be $5, $10, $20, $100. If you're fortunate, you might give $250 or $500, just to help us, the Breeze and the Breeze family, kind of get over this hump. It would be very much appreciated at this time. I certainly will be making a donation. Because these are really good people, and they're trying their very best, and these are really unusual times. I mean, you can hear the anger in my voice because I'm frustrated much more for my employees and or the Breeze's employees above all. And the Breeze depends on small business. So if the state's going to decide to kill all the small businesses, then that'll be the end of the paper, too. And nobody else is going to go out there and cover this for you at no charge, by the way. So we hope perhaps you might want to step up. Just go to valleybreeze.com. It's really easy to click and do that. If you can't do that, then just pick up your Valley Breeze. You'll see our address in the paper, and you can just mail a check. Make it out to the Valley Breeze. I will say this. We are a for-profit company, although the profits are a little harder to find these days. So it is not tax deductible. But tax deductibility has lost its edge anyway with the standard deduction now around $12,000. So anyway, this will be my only message, Dave and Joe, so you know that. I just want to thank everyone for all the years of support as I wind down my career. But trust me, this is not the new guys deciding to do this. I agree completely with their decision. They are wonderful people, and I completely support what they're doing, and I hope this can move the breeze, get past this problem in the short term, and keep us around for many, many years to come. So thank you for your consideration, and I hope you'll give it some thought. Have a good day.
All right, Tom, thank you. And I believe Tom brought this up last week, but I'm going to bring it up again now because I was talking with a family member about this whole stimulus package. And by the way, I have not received a check yet. Has anyone received a check yet?
No.
Not here.
Okay. He goes, yeah, we're okay. We're all going to get $1,200, or we're all going to get $2,400 if you happen to be married or whatever. And he goes, but we're going to have to pay it back.
Who says?
And I'm like, yeah. He goes, where's this $2 trillion money coming from?
Yeah.
He goes, taxes are going up, and this money, we're going to have to give it back.
No. The progressive side are going to tell you that they're going to tax billionaires. It's not going to come from you. They're going to tax billionaires. That's how they're going to get the money. This is a joke, but I'm joking, by the way. That's never going to happen. The money always comes from the middle class. But you're right. Taxes eventually will have to go up to pay for this.
So enjoy it while you can, because, like you said, with the gas, low gas, because this $1,200 you're getting is going to go back in higher taxes.
Well, this is Dave. By the way, I hear the jokes and stuff like that, but my understanding is that you'll have to claim it on your income tax and pay taxes on it, and they will not withhold the taxes. So, but it's
I'm wondering about that too, because I don't know the
income,
answer.
and they will show you'll have to show it on your income.
So the $600 a week, do you know about the $600?
Yeah, you'll have to pay taxes on.
Okay, but are they giving everyone $600 and then saying you'll owe it back at tax time?
No.
Or is it tax free?
Your unemployment benefits are taxable here in Rhode Island.
Correct.
And that's a shame, but that's what it is.
That's the way it is, yeah.
Right? And then on top of that, the $600 that they give you in addition to help because they know that unemployment benefits aren't enough, that is also taxable.
Okay.
And I was told that the $1,200 each citizen would get if they make less than $75,000 a year, that is also claimed on your taxes for next year as income in 2020. So you'll be paying taxes on it. So put about a quarter of it aside.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. But on the $600 a week, because this is significant. You do that for 13 weeks, for instance. What does it come to?
That's real money.
That's real money. And so they're not taking the taxes out at the beginning.
My understanding is they are not.
All right. So here's my prediction, which I can tell you with certainty. I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
$7,800.
Thank you. Good man with a calculator. $7,800. I can tell you.
Calculator?
I can tell you with 100% certainty. Don't worry about that, people, because nobody is going to pay taxes on that. They're going to come back for them, and people are going to say, "You mean I had to put $2,500 aside to pay those taxes? I don't have that kind of money," and it will all be forgiven. I guarantee you. And so, to the person who's wondering, taxes are just going to keep going up and up and up and up, and or we might have in Rhode Island. I know when Rhode Island got in a pickle 30 years ago with RISDIC and the failure of the credit unions, the bad credit unions, not Navigant. They were smart enough to not be in that mess.
They were back open in 4 days.
They were smart, but anyway, when that happened. The state of Rhode Island put an extra 0.5% on the sales tax and said this is temporary until we pay back so that we can take care of all the deposits.
Until we figure out what else we want to spend the money on.
It is 31 years later, and that temporary tax is still in place. So my guess is that they'll have another temporary tax to help with the COVID. And I will go to my grave, because I'm getting closer and closer, I will go to my grave paying that tax. That will never go away. But anyway.
Okay.
Joe, I have a note from the audience.
Oh, go ahead, Dave.
I have a note from the audience. Caller read the Breeze story on Monday night. And she lives in Hopedale. And on certain days, she has seen a group of cars with streamers and balloons and signs saying happy birthday like it was the 4th of July, horns going on the streets, and she feels this is not right when people are dying. Could the panel comment?
What is this? People are
What's the
sort of the
story?
celebration is in Hopedale?
Yeah, the caller is listening to us in Hopedale and asks us to comment on the fact that there are, on certain days, groups of cars with streamers, balloons, all festooned, saying happy birthday like it was the 4th of July with the horns going on the streets, and feels this is inappropriate at this time because of all the dying going on.
Well, first of all, there's not a lot of dying going on, but it does seem very strange and inappropriate. I'll give her that. I mean, at times like this, why would you do that? I don't, unless you're trying to cheer up the
my
town.
My immediate reaction, because I don't know all the details, would be that someone is confined to their home, and
bored
family members are getting into cars, decorating the cars, and trying to cheer them up from outside.
That's my
as they
guess.
drive
Is they're
by.
trying to cheer people up. That's all I can think of.
Yeah.
My daughter.
Because you know
lives in
that they do
Hopedale.
that at Saint Antoine, right? At the
No, I
Villa
don't.
on Monday
Go ahead.
nights at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Every Monday night
Melissa-
they started off on a lark, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And they have all these residents who cannot go out and they cannot receive visitors, and so the family members will come in their cars at a safe distance. They will decorate the cars. She said this past Monday night there were Easter bunnies on them and stuff like that, and everybody gets a big laugh and a smile, and they can tell that their family cares. They just can't touch them and they can't talk to them.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah, and so I think that and so what Dave just said and I'm talking to the caller now. Maybe they're on their way to the nursing home or something, or maybe they have the same idea going on up in Hopedale. I can tell
I'm
you,
not sure why they would be honking. In
her neighborhood. Good point.
But they may be doing the same thing in other places.
Could be, and that I think is a nice thing. I mean, I will say to the caller, my daughter, I'm very proud of my daughters because my first daughter lives in Hopedale with you, and she went to her grandmother's assisted living facility with our grandchildren. My mother-in-law, boy, it's getting complicated. The great grandma lives at the assisted living facility, and she went there with all the chalk and marked up the parking lot with a big "We love you, we're thinking of you," and she's on the 3rd floor balcony, and everybody came and everybody had a nice time. So that is a nice thing to do. I'm hoping. I agree with Dave. I think while I certainly am sensitive to what the caller is saying, that it seems like an inappropriate time. It sounds like they're just trying to cheer somebody up somewhere, and so I think I'd give them a pass.
Tom,
but we've all seen on the news and social media. There was I think it was Pawtucket. There was a veteran. He was celebrating his 93rd birthday, and this was a person who served this country, did a lot for the community. And, so the neighborhood, they all got in their cars and drove by with balloons. And I know that it's happening. People are celebrating birthdays. I mean, how do you tell a little kid that, you can't celebrate your birthday this year? Right. So I would say if a bunch of people just got in the car and drove around neighborhoods tooting horns for no reason, yeah, but I personally don't see a problem with celebrating someone's special day. Why should they have to miss out on it?
And Dave, we have a staff member at the station has a 4-year-old child, and his birthday either is very soon or it's coming up, and they've already planned a parade of cars, or he's asking for a parade of cars next week. Come by, can drive by their house and honk the horn and wave and do that, because like Paul said, a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old doesn't understand why they're not going out, why they're not having a party for their birthday. So that's why people are doing it.
Yeah, I mean,
but it has to be. It has to be.
Yeah.
I can imagine a kid jumping in the balls at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
During all of this. No, that's just not safe in the least.
No.
And I was speaking with a dear friend. I'll leave the names out because I wasn't given permission. But my heart was broken yesterday talking to a dear friend whose husband is in a nursing home, can't come home. She can't go see them. Easter's coming. The kids live out of state. They can't come. It's going to be a very, very sad Easter Sunday, for someone who is very, very family-oriented and always cherished having the family around.
Yeah, this is awful. I
Yeah.
mean, it really is. And you know, I mean, like I said, when we talk about restaurants, I just keep ticking off the marks. You know, Easter was lost to the restaurants. Now, when Gina Raimondo yesterday said picked another day, she killed Mother's Day for the restaurants. And a lot of businesses, a lot of gift businesses and stuff. She killed Mother's Day yesterday. I mean, at what point does this, I mean, this is, at a certain point, this is just going to be ridiculous. And I, if this is the America I grew up in, there will be a rebellion. But
Chan's
perhaps
Fine
not.
Oriental
Perhaps
Dining is well
we-
recognized as a major dining and entertainment venue in Rhode Island, the Northeast, and beyond. Patrons can choose from an excellent selection of Oriental cuisine, including popular combination dishes, lo mein and noodle dishes, vegetarian entrees, and seafood. Chan's also offers traditional favorites like 10 varieties of their unique fried rice, chow mein, chop suey, and poo-poo platters. Be sure to check their outstanding jazz, blues, folk, and comedy performers. Chan's at 267 Main Street, Woonsocket, 765-1900.
Thanks, Chance. They're just telling us we've come to the end of the program.
Yeah,
All right.
Joe, sorry about that. I saw that coming, but I figured you were handling it, so I didn't do anything.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
And folks, it's just an automatic reflex of the automation system when the 9 o'clock actually comes. If you're in the middle of a sentence, it doesn't care.
Right.
We know John Chan's not rude, so you know, it's just things happen.
All right, so we're done with the program for today. Thank you very much for listening in. Thanks for the comments that were called in as well. And Dave Richards, thanks for sticking around today.
You're entirely welcome.
All right, and Tom Ward, thanks for coming in.
Sure thing. Thank you.
All right, and Paul Willett, thanks for phoning in today.
Thank you, and happy Easter and happy Holy Weekend, everyone.
And we missed your granddaughter.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
she's downstairs. She's actually listening with my wife. So
Start 'em young.
If you miss the crying and all that stuff.